Christian Pulisic left chasing as Luka Modric rolls back the years. Milan star still setting the standard above USMNT ace, and even Lamine Yamal despite age gap. At first glance, the comparison feels almost unfair. Christian Pulisic, Luka Modric, and Lamine Yamal represent three completely different points on soccer's timeline. A player in his prime, a teenage phenomenon, and a veteran who has seemingly refused to age. Yet this season at Milan, one quietly revealing number links all three, and it tells a story that says as much about trust, leadership, and endurance as it does about tactics or talent. However, Christian Pulisic trails Luka Modric in one key Milan stat this season. And remarkably, the Croatian icon also surpasses the teenage sensation Yamal in the same category. For a 40-year-old midfielder to sit at the top of such a metric in one of Europe's most demanding leagues is more than a curiosity. It is a statement. When Modric arrived at the San Siro on a free transfer after 13 trophy-laden years at Real Madrid, the reaction was mixed. Admiration, yes, but also questions. Could a 40-year-old truly be the heartbeat of a Serie A side chasing the Scudetto? A few months into the season, the answer is unequivocal. Modric has become indispensable under Massimiliano Allegri. His calm authority, positional intelligence, and technical clarity have reshaped Milan's midfield rhythm. There is a visible difference between the club with Modric and the Rossoneri without him. The numbers back it up. When the Croatian starts, Milan's points per game average hovers around 2.50, and the Rossoneri have lost just once in the league, on the opening day against Cremonese. In contrast, the rare occasions when Allegri left him out of the starting 11 ended in defeats, notably against Lazio in the Coppa Italia and Napoli in the Italian Super Cup. The hidden stat revealed. Midway through the season, Score 90 published a list that quietly underlined Modric's influence. Despite being 40, Luka Modric leads Milan in Serie A minutes, clocking 1,325 minutes across the first 15 league matches. He has completed the full 90 minutes in all but 2 games, resting for just 16 minutes on debut and 9 minutes in a later win over Udinese. That figure places him above every other Milan player, and comfortably ahead of Christian Pulisic. For Pulisic, the comparison is not an indictment, but context. The American forward has played 519 Serie A minutes, a number shaped largely by injury interruptions earlier in the campaign. And yet, despite the reduced game time, the American remains Milan's top scorer, with 9 goals in all competitions, including 7 in the league. In other words, while the 40-year-old has been the club's most used player, Pulisic has been its most decisive in the final third, surpassing even Lamine Yamal. Perhaps the most eye-catching comparison is not with Pulisic, but with Lamine Yamal. The Barcelona teenager, widely regarded as the most exciting young player in world soccer, has logged 1,172 minutes in La Liga this season. That is an extraordinary workload for an 18-year-old. And yet, Modric, 22 years older, has played even more. The juxtaposition is staggering. One player is at the dawn of his career, the other approaching its twilight. Still, it is the veteran who leads in endurance and availability. There is a certain cruelty in football's timelines. Youth arrives with a roar, speed with a blur, and promise with a headline. Age, by contrast, creeps in quietly, carrying questions rather than certainty. And yet, every so often, a player bends time until it feels optional. Luka Modric has done that for more than a decade, and in Milan colors, he continues to do it now, leaving even elite talents like Christian Pulisic and prodigies like Lamine Yamal chasing shadows not because they lack ability, but because they are playing a different game. At 39, Modric should be an epilogue. Instead, he remains a thesis. The illusion of the race. Christian Pulisic is quick. Everyone knows that. His acceleration, balance, and willingness to attack space have defined his career from Borussia Dortmund to Chelsea to AC Milan. For the USMNT, he is the reference point, the face, the player opponents plan around. At Milan, he has revived himself, becoming decisive again. Goals, assists, movement between lines, that instinct to arrive at the back post just as defenders lose track. But when Pulisic shares the pitch with Modric, speed stops being the currency. Time becomes the real measure. Modric doesn't chase defenders. He invites them. He doesn't sprint into space. He opens it with a glance, a half-turn, a pass that lands exactly where panic begins. Pulisic's game is about winning moments. Modric's is about controlling minutes. Over 90 of them. This is not a criticism of Pulisic. It is a reminder of hierarchy, the standard that doesn't move. Football often claims to be cyclical, that one generation replaces the next. Modric has quietly refused that premise. While others fade, he has refined. While legs slow, his mind sharpens. While younger stars press higher, he presses smarter. Watching Modric at Milan feels like watching a master craftsman surrounded by power tools. Everyone else is louder, faster, more dramatic. He is calmer, cleaner, and devastatingly precise. The ball leaves his foot with intention, not hope. Pulisic, for all his improvement, still operates in bursts. Modric operates in control. That difference is everything. A winger may decide a match with one action. A midfielder like Modric decides how the match exists in the first place. Even Lamine Yamal feels the gap. Then there is Lamine Yamal, the teenager rewriting expectations before adulthood even begins. Fearless, electric, technically absurd for his age. The kind of player who makes defenders feel old before they actually are. And yet, even Yamal plays forward. Modric plays everywhere. Yamal dazzles because he breaks structure. Modric dazzles because he is structure. One is improvisation, the other is composition. And composition ages better. It's not fair to compare a teenager to a legend in his late 30s, and yet football insists on it. That Modric still emerges superior in influence, rhythm, and reliability says more about his greatness than it does about anyone chasing him. Youth offers possibility. Experience offers certainty. Coaches choose certainty when trophies are involved. Pulisic's growth. And his ceiling. To Pulisic's credit, Milan has become a place of rebirth. He tracks back more. He presses with purpose. He chooses his dribbles instead of forcing them. There is maturity now that wasn't always visible earlier in his career. But Modric represents a ceiling Pulisic has never quite reached, not because of talent, but because of role. Pulisic reacts to the game. Modric dictates it. The American thrives when the system flows toward him. Modric ensures the system flows at all. He controls tempo like a conductor controls silence, knowing when to accelerate, when to pause, when to let the noise consume the opposition. In those moments, even elite teammates become passengers, grateful to be guided. The tyranny of decision-making. What separates Modric is not touch or technique. Many have those. It is decision-making under pressure. While others require a second to process, Modric has already processed the next 3 actions. Pulisic often beats his man, then decides. Modric decides, then beats the entire block. This is why age hasn't caught him. His game was never built on explosiveness. It was built on inevitability. Milan's quiet truth. At Milan,